Greetings, beautiful being. Welcome to Movement Medicine Morsels, a little oasis where we can play with breath, mind, and movement to create some ease and harmony in these challenging times. So today's theme is cohesive breathing and also playing with moving away from linear movement into something a bit more ripply, wiggly, fluid-like. So what is cohesive breathing? Part of it is I want to introduce a term that's being used in a lot of different circles so that you know what it is. It's basically something you probably have already heard about. It's coordinating breath with movement and with focus, with attention. So that's the breath, mind, and movement. It's putting it all together in one place, like we do in yoga, like we do in Qigong, but now you know how some of the Western sciencey people are talking about it. So let's begin by grounding ourselves, finding our vertical alignment, because that's really the foundation of everything. And essentially, we're testing vertical alignment in everything we do, whether we bend over, whether we're doing the dishes, whether we're practicing yoga, qigong, sitting at the computer, whatever it is. We want to remember that we have a connection to the earth below, so we feel our feet. If you're sitting in a chair, you can feel that connection to the surface below you through your sit bones, and just wiggle a little bit so that you really feel it rather than just think about it. You want to really feel it, move, feel the texture of the chair, feel the texture of the floor, and bring your awareness into your body in that way. Now that we've set the foundation, we want to feel the lightness and the upward expansiveness or suspension. So as though there's a gentle elongation within on a verticality that feels like you're being drawn up to the heavens by a magic bungee cord or silk rope, whatever feels nice to you. That feeling of being rooted below but elongated, and remembering that the shoulders belong to the melting down. They don't belong to the hiking up. We're only pulling up with one cord. We don't have two other ones. So these soften down. You can even stroke your arms a little bit today and remind them, even one at a time, just soothing and stroking down to remind the shoulder girdle that it wants to rest. Let it rest. So here we are in the vertical alignment, and the last two pieces we add are a soft smile. So we stay with the lightness of being and with a positive energy. So small smile, it already lifts the cheeks, makes us feel better, changes our hormones and our neurological flow. And then breathing. So let's place our hands on our belly, wherever it's comfortable, to feel our breath going deep into the center of our body. And let's exhale first with a sigh or a hiss. And just let the sigh or the hissing sound go as long as it naturally wants to, and see what's happening in your waistline and navel region. And your body will know when it needs to take another breath in, so let that happen smoothly. And again, one more hiss or sigh. And letting the inhalation come in gently, filling your hands with your belly. And give yourself one or two more breaths without the hissing, just exhaling through the nose softly with curiosity and a little bit of playfulness. Have some enthusiasm and a lighthearted attitude towards all of this. And you want to feel that breath flowing smoothly, organically in your belly region. So now we've got the basics, and we're going to add a simple movement of the arms that we're going to build with. I'm going to slip back a little bit so you can see more of me, in case you are a visual learner like I am. I'm going to turn a little bit sideways too, because the movement is simple, but we bring the awareness to it. So all we're going to do is, on the inhale, Our wrists are being picked up as though by strings. And then as we exhale, the inner wrist gently guides the hands back down to rest on the thighs. So on the inhale, the backs of the wrists are lifted, and on the exhalation, the inner wrists relax down. Inhaling, and then the exhaling, the hands are turning over, and your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to use the whole inhalation for the whole rising movement and the whole exhalation for the whole lowering movement. Or you could think of it the other way, that the rising movement lasts one whole inhalation and the lowering movement lasts for the exhalation. So you're not changing the breath to fit the movement. You have a breath rhythm already established, and the movement is matching that breath. And we're not stopping or holding anywhere. Now, of course, if it's comfortable for you and you want to lift the hands further, you can lift them higher. That doesn't make it better, it just makes it different. Again, your comfort level is what's really important. So if your shoulders, if you have a frozen shoulder, you want to stay where the movement feels absolutely beautiful and flowing. If that means you're just someone walking by might not see what you're doing, but you can feel it and you feel fabulous, well, that's what you do. Now, if you are experimenting with lifting higher, your interesting challenge is not to change the length of the breath, but to find a way that the movement still fits your breath and everything is matched. So breath and movement are perfectly matched together and everything is flowing. Now maybe your breath is comfortably slowing down a little bit and you're enjoying the movement. So now, if you want to stay seated, you can continue the rest of this little lesson exploration seated. I'm going to come to standing, so if any of you want to do that, this would be a moment to do that. So now when we stand, we can bend the knees as the hands come down. And as we inhale, the knees can straighten. So maybe there's a pulsation that is added in the legs and the feet. And if you're seated, why don't you try pushing with the feet when you raise the hands, and that's going to send an impulse of strengthening into your legs. Okay, so now we've got the feeling of cohesive breathing. Now I also promised you that we would have a little bit of rippling or moving out of the linear. Now we're already getting a bit of a wave front to back. You may be feeling that. And I'm going to introduce a little side to side. So wherever you are, you might want to just move your hips a little bit from side to side. If you're in the chair, you can still be doing this. So we just want to get that feeling of loosening up the hips, and this might bring a side bend into your body. Just feeling the armpit and the hip approaching each other and then coming away. The head might want to be doing the same thing. You might be straightening one knee a little bit. The less you think about it and the more you just get into the flow of it, the easier this is. And let's just add in a little circle with the hips. This works nicely on the chair and it does standing. You're feeling your sit bones on the chair if you're rolling around, and you're letting your knees come along with the journey if you're standing. And of course, let's go the other way and giggle a little bit if the other way feels weird, because usually we do our smoother side first, but it really pays to tutor both sides so that they can move. And then just wiggle it out, shake it out. And that was just a little bit of an interlude to remind the body. It's almost like planting a seed that you can be a little bit wiggly. You don't have to be linear and go on these flat planes, which are very valuable, but they're only part of the story. So what we're going to do, we were doing the inhale and the hands come up and exhale down. What we're going to do is do one hand, inhale up and exhale down. The other hand is just relaxed. Inhale up and see what it feels like to have one half of your body engaging in the lifting and the lowering. And of course we get to do the other hand. Inhale, one side is lifting and exhale, lowering. Don't forget to breathe. It's all about coordinating breath, attention, that would be the mind part, and movement, so all three are in the same place. Now here's where the fun little wiggle ripple comes in, so just shake it up. Don't think too much about this, just trust that the little bits that we have done they've all been loosening parts of us up, so we'll be receptive to what's going to happen next, which is we're going to inhale in a syncopated way and exhale. So one hand is going to inhale up and the other one is going to chase it, and the first hand is going to fall a little bit first. So up, up, down, down, up, up, and let the whole body get into it once you've got the concept. Up, up, down, down, and let's try one more. Up, up, and just let whatever part of yourself move in whichever way it wants to do. So just a reminder, it's exactly what we've been doing, but we're syncopating. So I was leading with this hand. Whatever hand you've been leading with, let's try leading with the other. So there's just a little bit of it moves before the other one, and then you come down. And whatever's happening in your knees, in your hips, in your neck, and if there were no rules, how would you do this? Experimenting with just a little bit of something, one half of your body moving just a little bit before the other, and how many other places are moving along with this. I'll give you a little side view. We'll go this way. So we're just playing with this. Inhale, exhale. Now, I've been doing a bunch on the second side, so I'm going to turn around, do some more on the first side. This is going to be the last thing we do. So up, up, and down, down, and inhale and exhale. And maybe your movement is really, really tiny, or maybe your movement is brushing the sky and the stars. But whatever you're doing, you want it to be really lovely and valuable for you. So let's do one more on each side. Just switch. Oh, let's do that a couple of times. So we're switching from one side to the other. So inhale one side, up, up, down, down. And now let the other side inhale, up, up, down, down. And let's finish with both. Inhale, all of you rising. Exhale, all of you lowering. And let that get a little quieter. Everybody going a little bit smaller, more and more delicate, until maybe it feels like it's just something happening in your belly button or somewhere just deep inside you. And when you feel complete with this and it feels like the right time to you, don't stop before, just let it keep on going. If you feel like folding your hands over your belly, rooting your feet, and rising into your full vertical alignment so you finish in that magnificent radiance that you are, who you are. Remember the smile, remember your breath, and notice how you're feeling. Did this little exercise change anything? Was there something that you particularly enjoyed? Is there anything new? We always want to keep things fresh for the nervous system. So this is cohesive breathing, which is essentially breath, mind, and movement all together. Movement, meditation and movement. And feel your breath, feel yourself, And I thank you for tuning in to today's little movement medicine morsel on getting a little wiggly and paying attention to how our breath and our movement can be so beautifully, beautifully woven together. We'll see you next time, and many blessings.